Good morning, students. Previously, we discussed about the concentration of a solution. Today, we'll be discussing different methods which are used for separating the components of a mixture. So first of all, you should remember that the method to be used for separating the components of a mixture, it all depends on the properties of its constituents. That means whatever the method that you are using for separating the components of a mixture, that will directly depend on the physical and the chemical properties of its constituents. So first of all, let's take up this first method, that is evaporation. Evaporation, you are already aware of this term. It is a process which is used to separate a substance that has dissolved in water or any other liquid. The use of process of evaporation is basically based on the fact that liquids vaporize easily, whereas solids do not vaporize easily. Evaporation is used for recovering dissolved solid substance from liquid mixtures or solutions, but the liquid itself cannot be recovered by this method. The liquid vaporizes and get lost to the air. Due to evaporation, ink, which is a mixture of dye and water, we can obtain its constituents separately. Let's see. So this is an activity how we can obtain colored components or dye from blue or black ink. You should remember that the ink that you're using in your pen is basically a mixture of a solid substance and some liquid. That is called a dye. So let's see how we can separate out water and that solid substance from that ink. For this, there are certain materials which are required here. We need a watch glass, a beaker containing water, then a tripod stand, wire gauge, burner, and after that the ink. So first of all, we'll put this watch glass on the top of this beaker which is containing water, and we'll start heating this beaker. When we start heating this beaker, water in the beaker start heating and it becomes warm, and it transfers this heat to the watch glass which is containing ink. Now on getting this heat, water being volatile substance will start evaporating, and slowly and gradually we see that the water which is present in the dye will escape out by the process of evaporation, and we are left with just a solid dye at the base. That is, when we see this watch glass, we'll see some solid substance which is left, and that is our solid dye. You may ask, like, why we don't heat this watch glass directly. The reason is because if you heat it directly, then in that case, due to strong heating, this dye may get destroyed or it will get burnt away. So this is the reason indirect heating is done here. I hope this is clear. So we find that ink is a mixture of a dye and water. Thus we can separate the volatile component or the solvent from its non-volatile solute by the method of evaporation. Volatile component means the one which on providing heat get converted into vapors. Now let's see how can we separate insoluble materials from a liquid. This is activity 2. How can we separate cream from milk? Let's see this. So the process that we use is called centrifugation, and here you can see this is a machine called centrifugal machine. And in this method, what is done is the mixture is taken in these type of test tubes where the mixture is first of all put into it, and then a lid is put over its mouth. Then we place them at these places, and when we close this lid and we start the machine, it start rotating on its axis. That means it spins rapidly, and because of this spinning, what happens, the solid substances or the substances which have higher density, they start settling at the bottom of the test tube. So sometimes the solid particles in a liquid, they are very small and they pass through a filter paper. So for such particles, the filtration technique cannot be used for separation. So such mixtures, they are separated by a process called centrifugation. If you remember colloids, they can also be separated by this method. The basic principle is that the denser particles, they are forced to the bottom of the test tube, and the lighter particles, they stay at the top when spun rapidly. Spun means when you are rotating it very rapidly. And this method has certain applications or uses in daily life. Like first, it is used in diagnostic laboratories for blood and urine test. Second is it is used in dairies and homes to separate butter from cream. And third, it is used in washing machines to squeeze out water from clothes. You must have used your dryers at home in washing machines. So that also works on the same principle of, that is, centrifugation. Now after this, let's see how can we separate a mixture of two immiscible liquids. Immiscible means which are not mixing into each other. So this is third activity. Let us try to separate kerosene oil from water using a method, that is a separating funnel. So this is a diagram of, or you can say this is a picture of a separating funnel. This is made up of a glass, and it has one mouth, and this is a stopcock or a knob. Basically it is controlling the outlet of the liquid which is there in this separating funnel. So what is done is, first of all, the mixture is put into this separating funnel, and since the liquids, they are not miscible into each other, they'll form different layers. That means the lighter one which has lesser density will form the upper layer, and below will find the liquid which has more density, or the denser will form the bottom layer. So after this, what is done is, we'll leave it undisturbed so that we get two distinct layer. And when you feel like now they have separated, now what you can do is you open this stopcock. When you open this stopcock, there is an outlet here, and from this outlet the lower liquid will start flowing out. And as soon as this start flowing out, automatically the upper layer will also start coming down. And when you feel like when most of the lower liquid, which is having more density, it has passed out, at that time you can stop this stopcock or the knob. So the basic principle of separating funnel is that immiscible liquids, they separate out in layers depending on their densities. That is, based on the density, they can be easily separated out. Now again, this method also has certain applications or uses. First, like this is used to separate mixtures of oils and water. And second, it is also used in the extraction of iron from its ore. The lighter slag is nothing but these are the impurities which are present along with iron, that is molten iron. So it is removed from the top by this method to leave the molten iron at the bottom of the furnace. So in this method, iron has more density because it's a metal. So metals, they have higher density. So iron in molten state will settle down at the bottom of the furnace, and slag means impurities, they'll form the upper layer, and from the outlet which is at the bottom, molten iron can be easily separated. So this is how this method is used in separating. So I hope you have understood all these three methods of separation. Rest of the methods we'll discuss in later part of the chapter. Thank you so much.